Alright, what's going on, people? Namaste, Tashi Dalik. And, yeah, it's been a few days. I was originally gonna do a video yesterday, but I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, so I didn't bother. Um, so, yeah, um, got my heater going off, keeping the room nice and warm. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, yeah, I've been away. Took a break over the holidays and, you know, enjoyed the peace and quiet and little bit of rain and snow that we had over here. So, no real complaints. Everything is good for the most part. And yeah, I miss doing videos for those couple of days. I haven't done any. Um, so I wanted to, you know, come back and put out more videos. Um, just because I miss doing it, and it was a good little break, but it's time to get back to putting out videos. So let's see here. I think for this video, I want to talk about having gratitude or gratitude meditation, and I want to talk about it because I had a experience yesterday which wasn't the greatest, and I had to make the best out of it. And I chose to make the best out of it and look at the bright side of things because, you know, it's better to just have a calm mind rather than be upset over something, you know. And I took my time, you know, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm better off not being mad about, whatever, you know. So I said to myself, you know what? I did what else I had to do out there, So I took care of, what I had to take care of, and I came back and I was like, you know what? It wasn't all bad, you know. And even though the weather was kind of unforgiving, raining and what felt like ice, little tiny, tiny pieces of ice hitting your face. After a while, it kind of got annoying, but it's nature, so you can't really do anything about it, you know? And I thought about, that whole situation, not like, oh, I'm upset about it or anything. I mean, initially, that's your first thought, is to get upset, because, we're humans, we all get that way. And I know for myself, sometimes it's easier said than done, you know, but I make it work for the most part, and I'd rather not be upset, and I'd rather just go with the flow, you know, just go with the flow. Don't even bother being upset about it because it's not going to benefit you, and you're better off not even being upset about it. And that's something that I've had to learn, you know. It's not like about having control or any of that, you know. It's never really been about that. It's been about, you know, looking on the bright side of things, you know, or at least having some type of gratitude in the way of it, you know. Nowadays, people are just angry to be angry now, you know. You look at through social media, you know, if people follow the news, you know, people just in general sometimes, you know, just angry without context, you know, and it's happening more and more now, you know, and I know about that because I used to be like that. Every time something happened, I used to just be angry without really having context of, you know, what happened. I just got angry half the time, and now it's like, you know, when I process things, I don't even bother getting angry or anything because, you know, it's stupid. You know, it's crap. You know, wasting time getting angry and having that type of energy around you. You know, and it took me a while to finally be like, all right, you know what, man, I don't have time to waste on it, and I don't really care to be angry and to affect those around me and all that. You know, it took me a while to actually want to realize that. You know, because for a while I had this thing like, you know, it doesn't really bother people, you know, or why should I care, you know, because, you know, when you're in that state of just being angry and then, you know, you put it off to other people, then, you know, and it's just everybody, you know, and it's a chain reaction, you know, and I think, you know, everybody has this thing of like, you know, you can say you're not mad, but then whatever you put out there still shows you're mad, you know, and I've had to, you know, really think about things, you know. When I look at posts that I posted up when I was younger, you know, I was just angry or depressed or sad or, you know, trying to be the way that I am now, but I wasn't really sure of what I wanted to do when I was younger. And now it's like, you know, before I really even bother, you know, getting into problems or situations or being an ear for people or, you know, listening to people, I think of what am I going to say. You know, I'm always thinking of what I'm going to say. Sometimes it's harsh, but then again, I don't like to use that word. So I wouldn't call it harsh, I'd call it realistic, you know? And I think at times I wasn't sure, like, whether or not I wanted to be realistic, as you know, it would either not go great or it would either rub people the wrong way or, you know, whatever. And, you know, now that I'm older and, you know, I've got facial hair all the way down here and a whole bunch of hair up here, and, you know, I've let go of anger and, you know, I don't let that negative, destructive emotion get to me, and I don't really put it in any of my videos or my blogs. I mean, sometimes if it's something I'm passionate about, but I'm also upset, yeah, I might do that. But for the most part, I try not to put that out there because I don't have to put out energy where I'm angry, or even if it's, you know, anger to be used in a persona or, type of thing. I don't bother with that. And I put myself not on a higher pedestal or anything. I'm just me, you know. Whether that's quiet, whether that's calm, confident, whether that's just me being how I am now. It's just how I am. And, if I wasn't on the path that I'm on now, I don't really think I would even bother doing YouTube and, podcasting and whatnot. I don't really think I would bother doing this and, seeing, hey, if it helps people, it helps people. Like I say, that's great. That's always great, And if it benefits people, that too is great, But it's always one of those things where you have to be, sure of this is, how you're gonna do it, how you're not gonna do it, you know. I mean, I'm just a solo person here, you know. Maybe once or twice I might have, you know, one or two friends over. But, I mean, to do a video with them, probably. I mean, depending, you know, if I felt like doing it and if it felt like, the right thing to do at the time, yeah, definitely. But, for the most part, I do solo videos and podcasts, you know. So, no complaints there. That's always easy to do. And, that's always easy to do. And it's fun doing those too, I put out as much as I can, if I'm feeling up for it, if my throat's feeling up for it, if I'm, ready to actually even, sit back and get comfortable and whatnot, then I'll put out videos and I'll make it so that, hey, you got some enjoyment out of it, genuine joy out of it. So I always try and put that out there. And I always stay true to who I am, I don't try to be something I'm not. That's just how I am, especially now, I'm a philosophy type of guy, I'm a spiritual guy, I'm just me, you know, I'm an anime person, I think for the most part, some things have gotten me through harder times more than other things, you know. I'd say for the most part, being on my spiritual path has helped probably a lot more to, you know, I guess be more confident, and to be more self-aware, you know. Like when people come to me and, they tell me issues and whatnot, relatively for the most part, I give thoughtful, concrete uh, thoughtful, concrete, con, I can't even speak, concrete answers for the most part. I mean, unless I'm joking around, I'll give a joke answer, but for the most part, I'm kind of always like this. You know, um, it's just how I am, so I don't really bother changing any of that. There's no point, you know. Um, and I think also too, many times, we put ourselves in this position of we have to have this, we have to do this, we have to have this, we have to have this many people, that many people, and it's like, no, we don't really, you know, it's it's just an illusion to tell ourselves that, to make ourselves feel better, to make ourselves, sleep better at night, or to feel better, you know. I, for one, I don't bother with that because I know the people that will stick around. And if it's new people, great. If it's same people done before, great. You know, that's just how I am. You know, and like I said, I always just keep things simple. Keep things simple, keep things honest, keep things moving. That's it. That's how I try to do it. You know, I always keep, you know, my little pocket Buddha here, and I always, keep them in my pocket or, take them out when I need to think or go through a thinking process, you know. I also got my home one, you know. I also got my home Buddha, so he's always just chilling next to my incense candle holder that I have. So, I usually have them both somewhat relatively nearby. Of course, the little Buddha has his paint has come off, but I like to think of that as, you know, the whole impermanence thing, you know, how nothing is permanent and nothing stays the same. Well, except for him. But, for the most part, everything changes and nothing stays the same. So, you know, and I always remind myself, when I step out into the world, even though I'm not a big person who likes to step out into the world, you know, I remind myself of who I am, you know, and I go out there and I do whatever I have to do out there, and that's just how I am, you know. Sometimes I'll interact with people, sometimes I won't. Most times I just mind my business, and that's it. If people talk to me, sure, I'll talk a little bit, but not a whole lot, you know. Doesn't mean I don't care, or doesn't mean I don't like people. I'm just not a big talker like that. Especially now that I'm older, it's like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it, sometimes I don't. Even out with groups of people. Sometimes I'll talk, sometimes I won't. It's just how I am, you know. I'm also just really a person who observes now. That's just kind of how I am now. I'm not focused on this, that, you know, or any of that. But I also, you know, go back to having gratitude, you know, and which goes all the way back to the whole, you know, gratitude meditation thing that I started the whole video off with, you know. When it comes to gratitude, I think for humans in general, we don't really think of gratitude unless if we see it. You know, somebody holds the door for us, then we'll acknowledge them. But if somebody doesn't, we just don't acknowledge them. Or if somebody does the same thing, they hold the door, you don't say anything. You know, nowadays when it comes to stuff like that, people are just kind of, you know, caring for themselves, which is not bad, but, you know, the world's at a state where it kind of just doesn't care, you know? It kind of just doesn't care anymore. You know, it's like, you know, half of the world's burning, half of the world's covered in snow, half of the world's flooding, half of the world's, you know, going by drought, starvation, disease, you know, all of that, you know, and there's so many things, you know, people take for granted now, you know, people that have been there for them, you know, people that have, you know, cared probably more than they should have, you know, and I think, for the most part, you know, consciously, people care. I think subconsciously, people don't care, you know, because they're unaware of it, you know. I think consciously, like, you know, if somebody did something good for you, you know, but when you get into an argument or a fight, that person switches subconsciously and just completely forgets, you know. And it's human nature. It's a messed up part of human nature, but it's human nature. And humans have been doing that for decades. It's not certain. It's not something current or happened in 2016. No, we've been doing this for a long time to each other. And, you know, I think, like I said, consciously, people are grateful. But when people switch subconsciously, they're not aware. That's not an excuse. That's not just sweeping it under the rug. But if you don't know the difference between that, you're in trouble. Pretty bad trouble. And, you know, nowadays, like I said, people just, humanity as a whole in certain aspects doesn't care. And I think that can be very damaging, to people, the world, you know, other creatures that are here with us, you know. all that. Not just us, you know. But here's the thing too, is just again, people just don't care. And who knows, because it's not getting better. It'll only get worse. Maybe not everybody, but for the most part, most things will probably stay the same. So, yeah. So I think with that being said, I will end it here. So, yeah. So, thank you for watching, and I will be back. I'm not sure, but I will be back. I will be back. So, thank you, and goodbye, sayonara, and toshi delay. So, see ya.